Hi, it's Lee from Colouring Queen, and recently I showed you the Chen Rui alcohol markers that I purchased from Shein, and I didn't really expect much from this 120 set, and I was pleasantly surprised. You can actually see my review of these markers here, where I gave them a good testing out. So I purchased the largest set, the 168 set, and you can see them compared here. It's a much bigger bag, and I'll leave a link below to my swatch charts and to where you can purchase these if you wish. They come in a bag that's got a handle on it to carry. Now, when you do use that handle to carry them around, because they're just stuck in with these little plastic trays, they do move around a bit. There's a zipper that goes all around, and you can get a shoulder strap to go with it. Now, I roughly sorted these into order, and you can see that there's a nice little range of colors. There's also a shoulder strap that you can clip on the side if you want to carry it over your shoulder and carry it around. I don't know, if you're traveling or something like that, you can use it. Now, you can purchase the 168 set every now and again. When I purchased the 120, the 168 was out of stock, and then it was eventually removed from the listing. Now, this 168 set, unlike the 120, comes with a colorless blender, so you don't have to purchase one. And you can buy this as a single set or as a gift set where it's got a little packet of markers with it. So I'll show you that in a minute. Now, on the barrel, we've got the brush tip indication and the broad tip or the chisel tip indication. And so you can see the tip on it there. It's quite a nice looking tip. And these are the little markers that it came with. These were just like a little gift, and I thought, why not? It was the same price as without the gift, so why not? For Australians, it cost me about 60, $70 for the set, which is quite cheap for Australians, and it was free shipping from Shine. So, lovely range of greens, blues, pinks, and a lot of new warm greys, a lot of new colors in these 48 additional colors from the 120 set. And they really fill out the set quite nicely, in my opinion. So I can't wait to dive in and show you what they look like. I'll be showing you what the additional 48 colors are, as well as what they all look like together in the whole set. So I'll be showing you two separate pages to show you that. Now, I just want to show you how they compare to my best markers, which are my Copic. And you're probably wondering, why am I buying these when I have Copics? Well, I don't have all the Copics for one thing. And because Copics are quite expensive, I don't want to use them up in low cost colouring books. Copics are ideally for sketching and things like that, not really so much for colouring, but of course you can use them for colouring. I just call it high end colouring with the Copics. But the big difference is, of course, with the Copics, you can get refills for them and you can get nib replacements as well. So they really are a good long term product. But if you're looking for something cheap and cheerful just for your colouring books, then, something like these budget ones are pretty good in my opinion. Now, this is my original 120 set. And so now I've swatched out I've created a new swatch sheet for the 168 set, all on one page. And if you haven't seen my 120 review, you'll see that the swatches are divided into three. And so that's because I can do one layer of color across the whole thing. So the third square will show just one layer of color. The second square will show two layers of color. And the first square on the left will show three layers of color. So what I do is every time I put a layer down, I let it dry, and it doesn't take too long. So I do a few at once, and then I come back and do the second square, So here I am just doing the whole layer of color. So that's layer 1. And then I'll come back, let that dry, and do layer 2, and then come back and do layer 3. So I find working with 3 or 4 markers at a time, I can get them all layered 1 up and then come back and do layer 2 and come back and do layer 3. So the pre-filled colors on this 168 sheet are the colors that were in the 120 set, which if you've seen my previous video, you'll see what that sheet looks like. You can download it for free, either in a swatch for you to complete yourself, or in a scanned copy of my version. I'm sorry about the camera movement on this. It seems to be going in and out from the light. So my apologies. I don't know what's happened there. I can only just see it on the review of it. So hopefully it'll settle down soon. So going back, and you can see the difference just between the different number of layers on the markers. So there are 168 in this set. What's great about them is that they've got the brush and the chisel tip, which is good. But unfortunately, there are no refills or nib replacements, which is not too good. So just going through, and I'm just going to go pretty quickly here to swatch out these colors. And I will show you what the colors look like, just the 48 colors on a separate sheet of paper, if you've already got the 120 set, so you can decide if you want to get the bigger set as well. Now, what I've noticed with these ones is that there is some bleeding with it, and not just because of my quick colouring. Some of them are bleeding through. Bear in mind, I am just using normal copy paper, so it's pretty absorbent, and my little black lines are quite thin. Whereas if you're using this to colour in your bold and cozy or bold and easy colouring books, you've got that thick black line that can absorb some of that bleed through when you get too close to the edge. So just going very, very quickly through here. Now on the swatch chart, I've marked the new colours that are in the 168 set with a little asterisk as well. So if you already have the 120 set, you can work out which ones are the new ones. And another thing that I've noticed in this set is that some of the nibs are a little bit crooked. They're not completely straight on the brush tip. And some of them got like a little bend on the end. Now, most of them are pretty good, but there's probably a handful where the tip is just a little bit wonky. So you have to take that into consideration when you're coloring, which is a bit of a shame that they're not all completely straight. But what I've been doing is just sort of working it against the little curved bit on the tip. So rather than going with it and coloring using that curve, because eventually it'll just get worse, I've been turning it around, so I'm coloring against it so I can hopefully try and straighten it out just through use. But it's really good to see the different layers of colors here, what they look like when they're 3 layers or 2 layers or 1 layer, because if you don't have a lot of colors in your set, you can just use the same marker and let it dry, and you can build up your shadows that way. Obviously, with the KDP paper, the Amazon paper, if you like, it's harder to do that because it's very absorbent and it won't take a lot. Now, disappointingly, this one, number 53, that I just coloured, which is forest green for memory, it's the only marker that I have that's actually a bit dry. So I've turned it down on its side and hopefully it'll reinvigorate, or otherwise I'm going to have to add a little bit of alcohol markers to it. Now here on this sheet, you can see all of the 48 new colors, and we're going to try out these little paint markers. Now, I actually thought that these were acrylic markers, so I labeled them with the lid top, thinking they were acrylic markers, but they're actually glitter with, well, metallics, and they've got the color in like a little ink blob behind it. So using the dots is a better way of seeing what these look like, and they look pretty cute. So there's those 48 colors all together. And that's it. If you would like the swatch charts, the link for them is below the video. And that's it from me. Until next time, stay safe and happy coloring.